Following this clarification coming in from Mr. Ajoy Kumar, Congress leaders have repeated essentially what he said and have accused the BJP of not just misinterpreting but deliberately manipulating what he had said about Droupadi Murmu and the RSS as well as the BJP.
Time and again, from various platforms, our senior leaders, including myself, had pointed out that we respect Droupadi Murmu ji as an individual. We respect the way she had grown in her life. We respect the tribal community, and when we were in the power, we had announced a special sub-plans for the ST upliftment. Why Modi government had stopped that? So they have to answer the concrete questions. Don't divert the questions.
Well, I can say that Amit Malviya or the BJP is at its best in manipulating things, in their maneuvering, and you all know that what all Mr. Ajoy Kumar said and how it is being in the sense that when we tweet something, when we refer something, the entire narrative has to be. Youth is looking towards politics, and if we enter into these unfair tactics just to defame somebody, that is not only giving a wrong lesson to the youth of this country and playing with the future of this country. Politics needs to be redefined.
We're being joined by our guests, Mr. Ratan Sharda, author, as well as Mr. Ravi Srivastava, political analyst. Mr. Sharda, coming to you first. You heard the original statement made by Mr. Ajoy Kumar of the Congress party, as well as his clarification. Do you buy what he said, and do you believe what he said stands as defaming the tribal identity of Droupadi Murmu and her as an individual, when specifically he was talking about the evil philosophy represented by the RSS and the BJP?
First of all, I do not know what Amit Malviya said, so I am not going to talk about what Amit Malviya said and on which these people are frowning and talking. I would see what he has said. Basically, what has been Congress' role in ST upliftment? Babu Jagjeevan Ram never got the respect he deserved. Sitaram Kesi was thrown in the bathroom and finally made to resign. In case of Sector Committee report for minorities, which was created by the Congress itself, the report is actually the complete damnation of the secular liberal lobby, which for 70 years made them a vote bank and none of them gained any advantage. This particular party had a problem with conversion bill created by its own Congress party in Madhya Pradesh, and Nehruji frowned upon it. They never gave respect to the current president. Does it mean that anybody who joins BJP becomes a Brahmin by birth or by karma? What is this hate about Hindutva? I do not understand. They see Hindutva, RSS, BJP are born in the roots of this nation. Hindu is the Atma of this nation. What is wrong with that? But for them, who have been actually brought up on the forefathers' ideology of Mr. Hume and the British, who have swallowed everything the British said and now claim that there is something wrong with totally Bharatiya ideology, that is the problem with their thinking. They have demeaned Hindus and Hindutva time and again, and they will blame this ideology for defaming Miss Droupadi Murmu and the President of this India. So they have a right to decide who can be commended, who can be respected. They have a right to certify people about their ideology, about their belief, about their dharma. This is exactly the problem. They never gave space to ST, neither to SC. Look at the number of MPs they used to win, and what is the condition now? Because people have realized they have been used only as vote bank. They have not delivered anything to poor people have never been given justice, whether it is ST or SC. So their game is up. They have been continuously making very frustrating, very anger-filled statements, then trying to justify them. It's like Thuke Chatna. So all welcome to them. By this, they are only trying to create more negativity.
Right. Let me take this across to Mr. Srivastava as well. Mr. Srivastava, you heard both the original statement as well as the clarification coming from Mr. Ajoy Kumar of the Congress party. The very fact that he had to clarify what he said, don't you think that only ends up raising questions about the intent of his original statement? Do you believe he should have been more careful with his words?
Ajoy Kumar never disrespected the NDA candidate, Ms. Droupadi Murmu, for the presidential candidate. He has only talked about the evil ideology being propagated by the BJP RSS. If you see the record of the country of last 5 years, the crimes against SC/ST has gone up multiple. It has been 42,000 cases and now it is crossing some 50,000 cases. This is the record. And the hate of BJP RSS towards the SC/ST has been seen by the entire country. They do not have to give the lecture to people on their fake Hindutva. Fake Hindutva that creates only a gulf of hatred between the communities. And a kind of these Shobha Yatra and dirty slogans and lynching of people and Hajan, Hijab, loudspeaker and halal and etc. etc. This is what the Hindutva is, which they want to circulate. There is not Hindutva, this is only hate machine. And the BJP is the Amit Malviya, I think he is a master of that. I think what Ajay has rightly, the Congress leaders have rightly said it, that he is only manipulating the videos and trying to defame the Congress leaders by their machinations and maneuvering on the cyber media and social media.
Mr. Sharda, the accusation, the larger accusation here coming from the ranks of the Congress party as well as those who in fact decided to back Yashwant Sinha for his candidature as president is that the appointment of Droupadi Murmu as the NDA presidential candidate just represents tokenism, that this government hasn't really done a lot for the welfare of the tribals or for that matter even for the welfare of the Dalits, which is why the specific invocation of the current president, Mr. Ramnath Kovind, as well in Ajay Kumar's comments today.
I have already given the percent, the idea of how many SC/ST MPs and MLAs are with BJP, vis-a-vis what is the number of SC/ST MLAs and MPs with Congress or any other leftist party. Please go and check the record. If that is so, that means either the SC/ST people are fools who vote for these people, or they have been cheated by BJP, and Congress, which actually did a lot of good for them, has been thrown to the dustbin by the same SC/ST people. Please go ahead and check the percentage of vote by these people for BJP. So, and talking about hate-filled, he will give me 3 names of linked Muslims. I will give 19 names of Hindus who have been killed only because they're in the activists.
Oh, is there a competition going on?
So you have started
no, is
shouting
there a
now.
competition going on?
Go ahead, shout.
Is there a competition?
Because you have no logic,
how many have killed and how many they have killed?
You have no logic.
Is there a competition for that?
You speak
is there
to the point I
competition for
raised.
hate?
If you answer,
What kind of
if you
statement
answer,
are you
don't
giving?
keep on just throwing rhetoric and just throwing abuses. That will not solve any problem. People of India are not foolish.
Are you
Mr. Sharda as well as Mr. Srivastava, thank you for joining us. But the larger import of what Mr. Sharda has said there is that the BJP has significantly expanded its social base to also include scheduled castes and scheduled tribes over a period of time. Hence, the large mandate that it received in both 2014 and 2019. We'll slip into a short break. We'll come back with more on the other side. We thank our guests for joining us.